All right, Rachel, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. We were just chatting before we hit record. I'm excited to talk to another nurse practitioner today. You and I got connected through a mutual mentor, right? Functional medicine mentor. Is how you and I got connected. Tell us a little about who you are and where you live, because we're very far away today on Zoom, you know.
Yes. I'm Rachel, and I currently live on Maui, and I'm
Oh,
originally from upstate New York, so a big move. And I've been on Maui for about 2 years now. I moved here by myself. I didn't know anyone here.
oh my gosh.
Just bought a one-way ticket and just kind of went for it and loved it ever since.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So in 2011 or 2021
Yes,
when you
exactly.
moved? Okay. Got it.
Yes.
And so you were in New York during the pandemic.
I was in New York during the beginning, and then I did some
Okay.
travel nursing in North
Okay.
Carolina.
Got it. Got it. I was gonna say
Yes.
that was definitely like a hotbed during
Yes.
2020.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yes. That was very crazy.
Got it. Got it.
Um,
So now you have a virtual practice where you work with women one-on-one. What's your like specialty? Who's the type of client that you work with?
yeah, so my specialty is in gut health, and I work with women who are dealing with bloating primarily,
Hmm.
as well as any underlying gut issues, overall stomach discomfort,
Hmm.
any abdominal cramping, discomfort, pain, even heartburn, anything
Yeah.
related to the gut,
Yeah.
primarily bloating as the key symptom that women that I work with are dealing with, but also there's often underlying things that are going on alongside that as well too.
And how did you get started working, like how did you get doing what you're doing now? Like that background story.
Yes. So this started for my own personal health journey, and my background is in nursing. I'm a nurse practitioner now, and my background is working in the hospital as a nurse. And during that time of my life of working in the hospital, I was dealing with so many health issues. I was dealing with constant bloat, stomach discomfort. I would randomly have terrible stomach cramps out of nowhere. I would have to just sit in the bathroom and just wait it out until it would pass when I was at work, or I would have to randomly run to the bathroom, and it was just embarrassing. And I was just like, what am I doing wrong? I'm trying to eat healthy, exercise, trying to do the right things. And I'm a healthcare professional. I should know what to do, how to go about this.
Yeah.
And fast forward, this continued on for some time. And then I was also dealing with skin issues too, really bad acne. So it was a combination of things. And that ultimately led me to commit to working with a functional health consultant because I knew something needed to change
Hmm.
and I was stuck and frustrated and was trying Google searching, trying different diets, supplements, all of the things. Nothing was really working. So
Hmm.
I worked with this functional health consultant, and this changed everything.
Hmm.
And she really helped me to understand what was leading up to my symptoms to begin with, and the approach of root cause medicine and
Yeah.
getting to the root of symptoms versus just taking a pill only to put a band-aid over it and
Yeah.
it just continues and worsens. So
Yeah.
she really helped me to dive deeper into my gut health, my hormone health, as well as dive into functional lab testing too, which was
Mhm.
an amazing component of really seeing at a much deeper level what's going on in the gut microbiome, what's going on with your hormone levels, more specifically, that go above and beyond traditional lab work that is done by your primary care doctor
Mhm.
or even GI specialist. I mean, I have had several clients who have gone to so many doctors, GI specialists, all the things, and they're still not getting answers or
Yeah.
clear guidance.
Mhm.
So this then changed my path as a nurse, and I knew that this is how I wanted to help women moving forward. And I
Mhm.
knew that there's just such a better way to being more empowered over your health and overcoming your symptoms rather than feeling stuck and frustrated, and as a result missing out on so much in life because of those symptoms, and instead take control of those symptoms so you can live the life you want and desire as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Oh,
Thank
so
you.
I think to speak to, the beginning of what you were talking about, I think so many women can relate to what you said of like I'm a nurse. I try to do all this, I hear that from women I work with, that they're like, I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising, I'm taking supplements, like I'm doing all the things that I know are supposed to work, but I still don't feel healthy. I still don't feel normal. And it sounds like, yeah, that was your experience too. And then I find people are trying to DIY, like you said, trying the
Yes.
different diets and trying that, like, oh, I should be able to fix this. But it was that, and I think kind of you touched on that, but really looking at root cause, right? And seeing what was going on in your body through labs and actually looking
Yes.
at data really turned things around for you.
Yes, that was a big component and a big gap that was missing.
Mhm.
And especially even as a nurse, you love to see the data and you love to see
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
information, that evidence. And so this was really great to actually have clarity of what was going on internally in my body versus just wondering or being told that, oh, it's in your head, or oh, this
Yeah.
is just the way it is, it's normal,
Mhm.
or all of these things that we often get told.
Yeah.
And yet there actually is something so much deeper going on internally that is at the core of this that
Sure.
we otherwise wouldn't know without the functional lab testing really validating that either.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what would you say, because I feel like gut health is I'm like, it's great. Gut health is very I think because people are talking about gut health, they're more aware and like, but I feel like too, there's that like, I have know people who do Beachbody,
Yes.
right? So they're like, oh, well, Beachbody has a gut health program. And I'm like, yes, that's good. I unfortunately I think people can capitalize on things like from a marketing perspective and like yes, there are foods that you should eat to support, and shouldn't eat to support gut health, or there are lifestyle type things you can do, but I also find like I don't know about you, but I find in my practice, people don't necessarily understand how much the lab tests and my interpretation of them and ability to create a protocol, how much of a game changer that is, because
Yes.
they've done that. They're like, well, I did this gut protocol, that didn't
Yes.
really address what was really going on with them. Or, I hear that and I have to do this education of like, yes, I'm sorry you spent that money and all that time on that thing and it didn't help you, but this is why it didn't work. And here's how I'm going to do it differently with you.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes. I love that you bring that up. And I often speak with other women who have tried these programs, Beachbody, or have tried these different gut healing programs, quote unquote,
mhm.
that have promised them these guaranteed
Yeah.
results of, oh, you'll heal your gut, you'll get rid of your bloat with X, Y, and Z. Yet they're still dealing with these
Yeah.
symptoms. And then that's where it is so true that personalized support is the game changer right there.
Yeah.
These personalized protocols that are specific to you, to your personality, to your lifestyle, to your day to
What's going
day,
on in your
to
body.
exactly all factors, all encompassing are
Mhm.
truly the game changer and are honestly what women need in
Mhm.
dealing with these symptoms
Yeah.
rather than trying these different Beachbody programs or random programs that may be marketed
Yeah.
really well, yet
Yeah.
they're not
Actually
actually
solving your
giving
problem.
you exactly. Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I know we can kind of speak just from being in similar places, but it's like, I just want to help people, but God, I have to learn how to market so that I can help people. I've got to learn to be a
Yes.
good marketer so that I can effectively help people, because there's people who aren't going to have effective treatments that are really good at marketing too.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, so tell me, so a woman that's listening to this that might be having some gut issues and maybe she's not even aware of them yet, like what is normal and what's not normal, that like maybe you talk to your clients a lot about, when it comes to gut health, like
Yes.
the bloating, that you talked about and things like that.
Yes. So, when I'm speaking with women who are dealing with different gut issues, they'll often mention vague symptoms like, oh, I just feel bloated after eating. I just feel full, heavy, uncomfortable, maybe have some uncomfortable gas, or maybe I'm just not hungry in the morning. I just feel like heavy, nauseous. I just feel off. or even in the evening, I just don't even want to eat dinner because I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat because I get so bloated after eating. So they just avoid eating altogether, skip meals, or I'm trying different medications like a Miralax, trying different laxatives, for example, to try to relieve symptoms, yet the symptoms keep coming back. Those symptoms may seem kind of easy to push under the rug or be like, oh, it's okay, no big deal. I'm just a little bloated or a little heavy, or it's my period, so I'm bloated. Yet that is a signal of something deeper going on. And this is your body's way of telling you we need help. We need to be paid attention to. And something is going on here that needs to be addressed. It's kind of like the car engine light going off in your
Mhm.
car. We don't ignore that when that goes off. And
Yeah.
the same should go with these underlying vague symptoms,
Mhm.
as well as if you're having trouble with diarrhea, constipation,
Mhm.
and you have to run to the bathroom right after eating, or all of a sudden you are just having these terrible stomach pains or cramping going on, and it's just off and on. So it's not concerning because it's not daily, right? So it may not
Mhm.
seem concerning. It's just kind of here and there. But
Yeah.
that is still indicative of that alert going off of, hey, there's something
Yeah.
going on
Mhm.
internally. And if this is ignored, it's only going to progress and get worse and lead to even more symptoms, leads to
Mhm.
autoimmune conditions developing, a lot of long-term things developing. So it's actually a gift that we need to pay more attention to in terms of being aware of these
I love how you
symptoms
said
and
that.
then taking action.
Yeah, I love how you said that. That's a gift. Oh my gosh, such a great way to put that. And I found that even just working in private practice, I would ask like, do you have regular bowel movements? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like what somebody thinks is regular versus what is actually like, so I know you probably know this too. Like I go, well, tell me how many, how frequent, because they'll go, oh, well, it's funny how people just say like vague things like that. Like, oh, I have, it's normal. I have some, I'm like, well, how many is that? How, like, just thinking of bowel movements, I just would talk to
Yeah.
they're having two bowel movements in a week. I'm
Yeah.
like, you should be having two bowel movements a day, at least one a
Mm-hmm.
day, and how
Yes.
that is, are there certain numbers you can speak to maybe of that, of like, it's not normal to feel bloated after you eat. It's not
Yes.
normal to, kind of the stuff you talk about more of bloating, is kind of your specialty. What is, yeah, that what's normal and what's not normal.
Yes. So in terms of what is normal versus abnormal with bloating. So if you are potentially having like a really heavy meal, if you are eating late at night and you're just feeling heavy and bloated afterwards, and then you're just laying in bed afterwards trying to go to sleep and feeling heavy and bloated, that can be just indicative of, one, your body's trying to digest that food and it's
Mhm.
trying to do its thing, and then it's also trying to sleep, and it's kind of like a
Yeah.
battle against each other. So in
Yeah.
that case, that's just more indicative of a lifestyle shift needs to happen
Hmm.
there to really prevent that from happening.
Sure.
Versus if you had your lunch and then afterwards you are feeling super bloated, maybe even looking like you're 3 months pregnant, 6 months
Yeah.
pregnant, just your belly's expanding and you're feeling really heavy, and you are also having trouble going to the bathroom, maybe going even once a day isn't really
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
um Even, or if you are dealing with any heartburn, any reflux going on as well after meals, that is definitely indicative of often low stomach acid, a lack of stomach
Mhm.
acid in um, internally. So that plays a big role in being able to properly digest food and then hence preventing bloat and stomach discomfort.
Mhm.
So those are some key things there, as well as often I'll speak with people who are dealing with just vague symptoms of, they just feel they may think, oh, it's just my tummy, like I just need to lose weight,
Mhm.
or oh, like I just had a baby and last year and I'm still just trying to lose that weight, it's just mommy tummy. I'll have conversations with women who are expressing that, yet it's actually something else going on there. And gut health certainly plays a big role in weight loss. However, we can kind of mix the two between, is it inflammation? Is it bloat going on?
Yeah.
or versus the weight loss. And we can
Mhm.
kind of confuse the two. And then we correlate, oh, I just need to lose weight and then
Mhm.
try all these weight loss habits or diets or supplements. But that's still not getting to the root, because what's actually going on is, say, potentially like a deeper gut imbalance going on, issues with
Mhm.
bacteria, issues with leaky gut going on,
Yeah.
things like that. Um, so it's definitely is confusing because it's hard to tell between the
Mhm.
two of like what's
Mhm.
really going on there. Certainly tracking, it's definitely important to be aware of your symptoms and
Mhm.
tracking when they're happening, how
Yeah.
frequently, how you're really feeling. Doing like a journal is really helpful just to bring that
Yeah.
awareness,
Yeah.
and also kind of say, okay, this is actually more concerning than I thought it was,
Yeah.
looking back at the trends.
Mhm. Would you say that's probably a good place for people to start, is just maybe start keeping a diary of their, a journal of their symptoms? I think that that's huge. Just I think of like when I just do basic nutrition stuff with people, you don't realize that you think, oh, I'm drinking enough water until you
Yes.
actually pay attention to how much water you're drinking, or oh, I sleep enough until you actually like, so what would be like a first step you'd recommend for somebody who's maybe becoming aware that they may have some issues?
Yes, yes, definitely tracking symptoms, all types of symptoms, any type of discomfort that you're feeling, anything off at all, jot it all down. Even other correlating symptoms, any fatigue going on, any
Mhm.
if you're dealing with any skin issues at all or having a
Yeah.
breakout, anything that's feeling off, write it down and keep track
Mhm.
of it. And also, it's great. You don't have to go crazy in terms of being very specific with all of the details, but it's
Yeah.
great to hone in on like time of day, if there's like a stressful circumstance going
Yeah.
on, if you're at work, if you're at home, if you're out
Mhm.
to eat, the environment that you're in, as
Mhm.
well as the foods you're consuming, but also how you're feeling when you're consuming those
Mhm.
foods, just all encompassing components of it. And so often I do speak with women who, when I will ask them, like, hey, how long has this been going on for? Tell me more. They're like,
Mhm.
I don't really know. Like, it's just kind of there. I don't
I
really
just
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
bringing that
Kind of
awareness.
kind
Yes.
of just get used to it.
Yes. It becomes normal, quote unquote. So
Mhm.
that also, this bringing this awareness to it.
Mhm.
And is so key, and then also helps you become more in tune to listen to your body, and that's a
Yeah.
big thing as well.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so good. I mean, there's so many things we could touch on, but I know for me,
Yeah.
personal experience, my gut health has been huge around skin. And I
Mm,
not really, I think that's something maybe that people, I didn't know that before I discovered functional medicine, right? I had patients that would come in for skin issues, and we think of skin as like a topical thing, right?
yeah.
Rather than an internal thing. And so
Yes.
I know for me, yeah, I had looking back, I had some eczema flares probably here and there.
Mm,
But postpartum was when, after my second child, especially, my skin really got so bad. And I've had some biopsies now and know I have some areas that are eczema and I have some areas that are psoriasis. Wonderful. But my gut was hugely exacerbating that, just staph. I mean, you and I can talk specifics. I'm trying to stay more general, but just
yeah.
staph overgrowth and things like that that was really exacerbating my skin issues.
Mm,
To the yeah. So just I guess I wanted to like hone in on that. Do you find that a lot of your
yeah.
clients also do have skin issues along with their gut symptoms? Mhm.
Absolutely, yes. Often some psoriasis, eczema, acne is a
Acne.
big
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
that's correlating with these symptoms.
Uh-huh.
Or sometimes it's vice versa, and they'll come to me and they're like, well, I'm not really dealing with gut issues, but I'm dealing with acne, terrible
Mhm.
acne. And then I'm like, okay, but is there anything going on like that you notice with your gut that seems off? And they're like,
Yeah.
well, I do feel bloated here and there, and
Uh-huh.
this is coming up. So then like sometimes it's kind of masked in that sense, or kind
Yeah.
of
Uh-huh.
it's not put together, not tied together. And
Well,
like you
and
said,
yeah, well, and symptoms that they're aware that are most significant to them. Like I feel
yes,
like sometimes gut health, people are like, well, it's just, you just kind of deal with it. Like I know for me, like sometimes my clients, they're like, well, if I could just have more energy, might be
Yeah.
one of their big complaints, even though they do have all these other symptoms, but they feel like the other symptoms could be better if they had more energy. So their energy is like a big focus for them.
Yes,
So
that is huge as well. It really comes down to, okay, which symptom is like my priority?
yeah,
What is
yeah,
the main one
tackle
that I
that.
really want to? Yes,
Uh-huh.
exactly. Exactly.
And then do you find, I think even in the conventional medicine setting, we're more aware of this, but of that gut brain connection. Cause, I think of
Yes.
like, but even before I learned a lot about this, seeing IBS patients on like amitriptyline or, seeing that even in the conventional medicine setting, people with gut issues were sometimes treated for, um, mood disorders as well.
Yes, that is such a great point. And often, yes, doctors will prescribe them an antidepressant to address what's going on, when in fact, gut health and our mental health are so tied together, as you said, the mind gut connection. And over 90% of our serotonin is produced within our guts,
Mhm.
which is huge.
Yeah.
It's,
And I can't
it's,
remember how much dopamine. It's a lot. It's like over
yes,
50% of your dopamine is produced in the gut. And yeah.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
it is huge. And that is not talked about enough,
Yeah.
especially
Hmm.
in conventional medicine. And
Yeah.
I work with a lot of clients who have also felt really dismissed because they've been told, well, just take an antidepressant, but they're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to go this route. There's something else
Yeah.
going on.
Hmm.
And then when they do work on their gut healing journey and address those things, deeper things going on, they notice how their mood improves and
Hmm.
they're no longer dealing with irritability or those crazy mood shifts
Yeah.
either. That's huge.
Yes. I've even had, clients that they I was thinking, yeah, both. Once we worked on that, yeah, then their PMS is better and their mood swings and
Yeah.
stuff. Or two, they won't necessarily see it, like, because a lot of times my clients are virtual, but they'll be into their protocol and we'll be on a Zoom call and I'm like, your face is clearer, and they don't even realize like how maybe their skin issues weren't such a problem for them. Maybe their gut symptoms were worse, but then their skin gets better because we're dealing with the gut issues. So,
Yes, exactly. It ties over into all aspects, our whole body, and really
yeah.
all aspects of our life too. And it impacts confidence, levels of confidence, self
Hmm.
esteem that carries over into our daily decisions.
Yeah.
And I even share this in terms of moving to Maui. Had I not been really proactive and taking care of
Mhm.
my gut issues going on, I doubt I would be here today, to be totally honest, because
Yeah.
it has going through that journey has shifted how I make my decisions. It's shifted my level of
Mhm.
confidence and ability to do things out of my comfort zone. And this was a huge thing that is outside of the
Wow.
comfort zone. So it's like, it's interesting to go back and think about that and reflect on that and be like, wow, I don't know where I would be today had I not really honed in on my gut issues going on and addressed them and
Mhm.
become more empowered over my daily decisions to really prevent that from happening again. And also,
Wow.
I noticed that in my clients too, of they're making shifts in their career. They're like, I actually
Mhm.
don't want to do this career anymore. I want to do
Yes.
something that like is more life giving. And then it carries over into that, carries over into their relationships and going
Yeah.
on more dates or spending more time with their husband, more intimacy, all of the things. It impacts
Yes.
so much.
Yes, agreed, agreed. I hear the same. It's funny. I do hear career shifts with my clients too. They're
Yes.
like, I've been wanting to do this and now I'm finally gonna do it because I have the energy to, or things like that. Oh,
Yes, it's
okay.
amazing.
So we talked about somebody kind of bringing awareness, tracking symptoms is kind of like a first step. But then you also have is this a paid course or do you have any like resources that maybe somebody could check out, on a
Yes.
website or something if they're like, okay, I think this is my, my problem and how can I learn more? What could
Yes,
they do then?
definitely. Yes. My Instagram page is my main page where I share the most insight about this,
Mhm,
at Wholeness and Health.
mhm.
And I also I have like a bloat busting get hacks guide. So if
Oh,
that's something you're
nice.
interested in, that is a wonderful resource and some just specific habits that you can implement and utilize in your daily life to help with relieving your bloat. That is a free resource. And if you're
Uh,
interested, then you can definitely message me on Instagram there, and I'm happy to share that with you.
Okay, got it.
And
So best way would be to message you. I was gonna ask, is it like in your
exactly.
linked in your bio or something? Okay.
Yes, yes, message is perfect. I also have a course that I just launched recently, the Banish Your Bloat course,
Uh-huh.
and that is a great option. It is a wonderful foundation for relieving your bloat and really supporting your gut health. And the key, I dive into mind gut connection, root cause of bloat,
Mm-hmm.
and optimizing nutrition, all of the factors involved in that. It's just a much more clear cut, self paced, do it at your own time
Yeah.
option as well. That's a great way to go too.
Okay. And then you also do one-on-one coaching as well, or okay. So if somebody's
Yes,
then ready for the next level, then that would be,
yes.
how they can get started with you.
Absolutely. Yes, I do one-on-one personalized coaching and different options for that depending on your needs and what's best for you.
Yeah.
But that is an option too. If you want that personalized guidance, then
Yeah.
definitely message me on Instagram and we can chat more about that.
Got it. And I'm assuming that includes like the functional testing when they're
Yes,
doing that. Got it. Awesome.
exactly. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Awesome. Well, this has been, yeah, so good because I think the more we talk about what's normal versus not normal, I think just can help so many people realize that they can feel better than they
Yeah.
do and that they don't have to settle for feeling less than their best. So,
Yes, exactly. And you're an example of that as well. And really honing in on just taking control of your health and symptoms
yeah.
and just feeling empowered on your journey. And it is possible in the midst of dealing with these symptoms that it feels like this is not possible to overcome, or I'm just stuck with this. It's
Yeah.
hard to get out of that, but just know that for anyone listening who is in the midst of it, know that you can get out of it. There's hope. And you do not have to continue dealing with these frustrating symptoms at all.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Awesome. Wonderful, Rachel. Any other, I'm trying to think if anything else I feel like we covered a lot of the core things. So,
Yes.
but yes, definitely go check out. We'll put all these links in the show notes, but go check out Rachel on Instagram at Wholeness and Health. And then you can also, I'll link her course, the Banish Your Bloat course, in the show notes as well. So if somebody's interested in that, they can get started with you. So, all right, Rachel, thank you
Wonderful.
so much.
Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful chatting with you.
Yes, always fun, right? I feel like I had to
Yes.
keep my tongue from like just going off. You and I could shop talk too much. So,
Oh, yes, definitely. There's so much to talk about.
yes. All right,
Yes.
we'll have to do another episode sometime.
That'd be wonderful. I would love to. Yes.
Wonderful. All right, well,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Rachel.
Thank you so much.